All right, everybody out of here that's going to distract me. Here before me is a range of documents that not only relate to the Rowville Rail, but they also relate to public transport in general in Knox and how the whole process has evolved from the mid-1990s right up to now. So some 20 odd years of history here in these documents. Not long after the Scoresby Freeway environmental effects study had been undertaken, the Knox City Council were encouraged and agreed to develop a public transport strategy called Let's Get You Moving. And in there is clearly identified the Rowville Rail, the Knox Tram and a bunch of other projects. There was some campaign that was undertaken by an organisation called Public Transport First during that time, just to sort of keep pushing the issue and keep it out there in public. So that was happening. Not long after the Knox Council developed the public transport strategy, they decided to have an integrated transport strategy, which I really believe was a good way of looking at things. So let's look at the whole public transport system and itemise all transport projects in priority, not just public transport or road projects. So that's why that document was developed, and I think that went a long way. Within that was the Rowville Rail. Then comes the Rowville Rail pre-feasibility study. When I was on the Knox City Council, the council made a decision to undertake their own feasibility study or pre-feasibility study because the government at the time refused to do so. And we used this particular information to obviously push the whole issue forward because it came up as being a feasible project. Now, not long after that, the government, the Liberal government, last Liberal government, decided that they were going to undertake a full feasibility study into the Rowville Rail. So they developed Stage 1 and Stage 2, which says that the Rowville Rail is very feasible. During that time, the council, what was missing out of these reports was an economic appraisal of the project. So the Knox City Council decided that they would undertake that to complement the study that the state government was doing because they didn't have enough money to actually include this. So we did this part of it, and it showed that economically that the project was feasible. So some long history here, and at the end of the day, the then Liberal government turned around and said, yes, we're going to develop a rail development network plan for metropolitan Melbourne, and included in that into the future is the Rowville Rail. So basically all the lobbying that's been undertaken over these years hasn't been a waste of time. We've come from a situation where nobody was even thinking about the Rowville Rail 25 years ago, and now we have a situation where we actually have it included in a rail network development plan for the future development of our rail network right into the future. So that's community, that's the power of community for you. This is what you can do if you all get together and you push for something that's really required and that has been promised for the last 40 years by various governments.